Welcome, FactSpaz 17 loyalists, to Dark Secret number 125. Today, we peel back the painted smiles to reveal a history far more unsettling than any circus tent. For centuries, clowns have been symbols of joy, laughter, and innocent spectacle. But what if the very essence of the clown, the exaggerated features, the absurd antics, and the forced grin, isn't a modern invention at all? What if it's an ancient echo of something far darker, something deeply rooted in our primal fears and the most disturbing corners of human history? Today, we unearth the true, disturbing story behind the origin of clowns. This isn't just about circus acts, it's about figures who have haunted humanity's periphery for millennia, often holding a mirror to our deepest anxieties, sometimes intentionally provoking them. Our journey into the painted abyss begins not in a big top, but in the earliest known civilizations. Glimmers of clown-like figures appear as far back as ancient Egypt, around 2400 BCE. Pharaohs kept pygmy jesters, often individuals with physical deformities, whose role was to entertain through dance and mimicry. While not clowns in the modern sense, these entertainers held a unique, liminal status, often revered yet simultaneously marginalized, a duality we'll see repeated throughout history. Move forward to ancient Greece and Rome, and we find stultus or sotades, fools who performed in theatrical farces, often embodying the grotesque and the absurd. Their humor was frequently crude, satirical, and designed to disrupt social norms. They were allowed to mock the powerful, to play with taboos, and to represent the chaotic side of humanity that polite society often tried to suppress. This freedom, however, came from their position as outsiders, figures beyond conventional morality. But perhaps the most unsettling precursors to the modern clown come from indigenous cultures across the globe. Among the Zuni and Hopi people of North America, for instance, sacred clowns like the Koyemchi or Hikoya served a profound, often disturbing, ritualistic purpose. These weren't simply entertainers. Dressed in grotesque masks, often covered in mud, their performances were sacred acts of social commentary and spiritual purification. They would mimic and exaggerate the flaws of the community, engage in gluttony, public indecency, and mockery of sacred rituals, all to reinforce social boundaries by publicly violating them. Their actions were meant to provoke, to shock, and to remind people of the consequences of breaking taboos. Their laughter wasn't always joyous, it was often a tool for confronting the uncomfortable truths of human nature. Imagine witnessing these figures, covered in paint or mud, performing acts of exaggerated depravity or crude satire in a sacred space. The line between laughter and unease would have been razor-thin, if it existed at all. They were a necessary chaos, a mirror held up to the community's own potential for darkness. The medieval European court jester continued this tradition of the privileged fool, the one person who could speak uncomfortable truths to kings and queens without losing their head. Their humor was often sharp, sometimes cruel, and their appearance could range from the witty intellectual to the physically eccentric. Festivals like the Feast of Fools saw commoners temporarily invert the social order, electing a lord of misrule whose antics echoed the ancient role of the boundary-breaking fool. The 16th century Italian commedia dell'arte brought us closer to recognizable clown archetypes. Figures like Harlequin, with his mischievous, often violent nature, and Pierrot, the melancholic, moonstruck lover, emerged. Pierrot, with his white-painted face and often silent, expressive movements, embodied a profound sadness beneath a veneer of theatricality, a poignant contrast that would later define the modern clown. This brings us to the 19th century and the father of modern clowning, Joseph Grimaldi. A British pantomime artist, Grimaldi perfected the white-faced, red-mouthed Joey clown, captivating audiences with his physical comedy and songs. Yet, behind the painted smiles and uproarious laughter, Grimaldi's personal life was a tragedy of immense proportions. He suffered from chronic pain, the loss of his wife and son, and crippling depression. He brought joy to millions while living a life of profound sorrow, an unsettling irony that cemented the image of the sad clown. This duality, the public joy masking private torment, became a defining and disturbing characteristic of the clown. So, the clowns we see today, from the circus ring to the silver screen, carry a lineage steeped in far more than simple entertainment. They are echoes of ancient jesters who challenged authority, sacred figures who confronted taboo, and theatrical personas who embodied profound human sorrow. The painted face, the exaggerated movements, the very essence of the clown, has always been about disruption, about operating on the fringes of what is normal, acceptable, or even safe. The unsettling truth is that clowns have always existed at the crossroads of order and chaos, joy and terror. Their historical role was not just to make us laugh, but to make us question, to make us uncomfortable, to remind us of the grotesque and the absurd that lies beneath the surface of polite society. Perhaps that's why, for many, the seemingly innocent smile of a clown can still trigger such a primal, disturbing fear. It's a whisper from antiquity, reminding us that sometimes, the most unsettling truths are hidden behind the loudest laughter. If this deep dive into history's darker corners fascinates you, make sure you don't miss our next episode. Hit that subscribe button, join the FactSpaz 17 community, and uncover more dark secrets with us every single day. Until next time, stay curious, and remember, not every smile is what it seems.